Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushua, Baal Shem Harakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salute honors to brothers out there preaching this word of serious truth. Alright, coming to another lesson. Basically, World War III. Alright, the current events leading up to World War III. Alright. What's this website? Washington Examiner. Alright. Biden says U.S. would use force as last resort to stop Iranian nuclear weapon. Okay. And that's the Iran is the focal point on World War III. All right, to get the full-blown event of World War III happening. All right. And I got the scriptures to prove that the state of Israel, those Amalekites, those small hats over there, which are Edomites, when they go into that land, when they start attacking Iran, that's when you well know that World War III is gonna start. It's really gonna start the Armageddon, scriptures on the Valley of Decision, all right, Valley of Jehoshaphat, Armageddon, Mountain of the Troops, okay. So that's the time that we're waiting on, all right, and that's gonna be also gonna be the time of Esau, Edom, pushing the charagma all over the planet Earth. All right. So let me continue on reading this. United States will use force to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon if all else fails, President Joe Biden warned on Wednesday. The president was asked in an interview with Israel's Channel 12 News. Basically, the United States is basically the tool, a tool of the elite bankers, all right, which are Amalekites, which are small hats, all right. So they use the United States as a tool for their military power. They use London as a tool for their financial power, all right. Also, they use the Roman Catholic Church, all right, the Vatican as their brainwashing tool of religion. Okay, that's those three unclean frogs in Revelation 16. That's the scriptures are speaking about. All right. The president was asked in an interview with Israel's Channel 12 News whether he would use the military to stop Iran from becoming a nuclear power. He responded, if it's the last resort, yes. Well, you're going to go there anyway, because the scriptures say it. All right. But the United States, they're going to follow Israel. All right, those small hats, they're going to basically follow them. All right, fight alongside them. All right. Just like in, I believe it was World War One. The United States was like the last to start the war. I mean, the last to come into the war. All right. Also, I believe World War II, because the U.S. wasn't doing nothing after until Japan attacked them. They was doing a little bit, but they was they wasn't going full force, But the U.S. they pretty much be the last to in the World War scenario. They'd be the last one to get into the war. All right. But the U.S., they're going to follow it, the small hats, into this World War III. Iran nuclear deal faces UN uncertain, it's like an uncertain future as Tehran sells weapons to Russia. Biden landed in Israel Wednesday as part of his first trip to the Middle East since took office amid his administration attempts to rejoin Iran nuclear deal, from which the Trump administration withdrew. In 2018, there is a deal on the table that Iran has yet to accept, according to an administrative official. Well, Iran has Russia backing them, so I don't want to add, though, Brianna, that we continue to want to see a nuclear deal that takes Iran's nuclear ambitions, at least nuclear weapons ambitions, off the table. John Kirby, National Security Council coordinator, said in a CNN interview on Tuesday. And there is a deal actually on the table. The onus is on Iran to accept it. Iran continues to isolate themselves from the international community. Let's see. One major sticking point about the possible deal is the U.S. designation of Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. There have been reports that the administration considered removing the designation in exchange for re-entering the deal, but Biden affirmed in an interview that wouldn't happen. All right. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan accused Iran earlier this week on planning on sending weapons to Russia as it faced the toll of its war in Ukraine, which is in its fifth month. He said Iran is prepared to provide Russia with several hundred UAVs, including weapons-capable UAVs, on an expedited timeline, with training on new drones expected to start any day now. Yeah, well, Iran and Russia are doing deals together, man. Russia is the big brother to Iran, man, basically, against America, NATO, and the EU. All right. So the Lord is forming these divisions amongst these countries to get that World War III on and popping. All right, this is Jeremiah 49. I'm going to read these two right here. Jeremiah 49 and 20 and Jeremiah 50 and 45. All right. Starting with Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he said that he hath taken against Edom. Okay, Edom are you so-called white people. You come from your forefather Esau. And his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Those basically the wise men out of Edom. Okay? The wise men out of Edom would be considered as basically the elites. Alright? They're wise in wickedness, man. You know? They're the top those elites, which are Amalekite small hats. Those are basically the top wise men. Right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And that least of the flock goes into the small hats over there in Israel, man. They're basically gonna do that, get that first strike in. You know, they're basically gonna go full force into Israel to prevent them to have a so-called nuclear weapon. All right. Then you know they're gonna be fighting the state of Israel with the Iranians. They're gonna be fighting, and Russia All right, China, it says Ezekiel 38, it says Ethiopia, Libya, all right, they all gonna join in, and America and NATO and the EU gonna have to join in, so that's where it gets into the Armageddon, man. Jeremiah 50 and 45. All right, finish reading. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And ultimately, World War III gonna make Great Babylon a desolate wilderness, man. And Yahweh Shai gonna make, all those armies in the Middle East in the Armageddon scenario. The Lord's gonna make it desolate by fire. Jeremiah 15:45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes. Look at the word purposes. Purpose, thought, device, thought, plan, purpose, invention. It's imaginations, cunning, devise, invented means. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, which is America, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. All right, when you look up Chaldeans, these are mentioned repeatedly in Daniel, along with the magicians, astrologers, and soothsayers. These Chaldeans were the particular class of learned men, forming with other the Magi, or wise men of Babylon. Okay, so basically the wise men of Babylon. All right, and those elites, man. You got the lower elites of the lower elites, and you got the top elites. All right. I believe the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers are basically they're elites, but they're basically Rothschilds. All right. They come from the family of the Rothschilds. All right. So the Rockefellers are basically the elite bankers of America, Great Babylon. All right. And they're Edomites. All right. And I just read it. They're Edomites. Okay. That he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay. The least of the flock of Babylon is those small hats, man. Basically, those small hats basically own Babylon, man. Like I said before, the elites use Babylon, America, for their military strength. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right. At the noise of taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. All right. So eventually, when Israel and Iran start fighting continuously against each other, them small hats gonna call over the United States to fight. And the scripture said, man, that's the least of the flock should draw them out. Draw the Babylonians, the Americans. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Shalom.